Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the LunchBox Comics Draw Stream. My name is LunchBoxWarren, and I am the writer and drawer, artist, creator of the Adventures of Sig and Joe, as well as the one-shot How the Squirrels Saved Longview. Both issues 1 and 2 of the Adventures of Sig and Joe are now available on Global Comics if you read digitally, and uh, on Global Comics digitally on Global. If you read comics digitally, they're both available on there. Link in the chat. Hey, Max from Atrocity Press, how are you doing today? Emily Hale, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. And I also have my book, the How the Squirrels Saved Longview, a special one shot, is available on Global Comics for free. If you want to read those digitally. And today I have a special guest with me. He is a friend of mine. We met while working, while I started making comics. I met him through back in our the Madness days, if you will. And we've been friends ever since. He is a New York-based artist. Like I am a comic book artist and writer. My guest today is an all-around artist, a painter, penciler, does all sorts of things. We're going to get to talk with him tonight. A good friend of mine is the one and only Pete Vasquez. Welcome to the show, Pete.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So let's start off with the madness days. Yes. You want to start off? How about if you like to introduce yourself, tell little people about yourself and what you got going on?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Pete Vasquez. I am one half of the Long Island, New York-based art studio, Fat Guy Inc. My @ is right there. You can see my name everywhere. You can find me there as PEAT11717. I also put the link to my link tree in the chat, so if you want to check that out, all my socials and stuff like that. I'm in my 50s. I've been drawing my whole life since I could pick up a stick or a crayon. Really comic book fan, anime fan, manga fan, do a lot of painting, did a lot of stuff like that. Always wanted to do my own comic books, never really did. Was always doing art shows. I may have picked up a can of spray paint now and again to do things. Just saying, statutes of limitations. But when we started doing Comic-Con, like we always went to shows, but when we started actually getting behind the table and doing shows, is really when I got the itch to do comics again. And Fat Guy did do its own. We did 4 issues of our own comic. I have them here. I wasn't prepared. Sorry.
No worries.
And I don't have them, but I locked them away because this was like in 2014, 2015, and they were terrible. I'm straight up terrible. They were terrible. And which is really weird because I had a film minor when I went to college. So storyboarding was something that I had knowledge about, and my sequentials were trash. So we stopped doing it. And then at that point, I had a script for a book that I'm working on now, that Warren's going to be working on now. That's Attack on Cookie. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, I'm sure. But I took the time during COVID. I always said that if you're not getting, and I lost some friends because I said this, and some people thought I was, being rude. But those are the complacent people, and I'm glad they're out of my life. I had said, and artists too, I don't speak to a lot of these people professionally. I said, if you're not taking this time where we're all locked in and we're all on the same space, like we're all basically in jail on the Monopoly board, waiting to get out all at the same time. So if you're not working on yourself and getting better, when we get out of this spot, I'm going to be light years ahead of you.
Yeah.
My art improved, my setups improved, my business practices, all my stuff. I improved all of those things during COVID. And one of the things I improved was I went to school. I took some online classes for storyboarding again and started working on sequentials. Am I the best sequential artist in the world? No. Was I the worst back in the day? Yes. Am I the worst now? I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst. I get my point across. But the other thing is now I really take criticism really well. And I'm surrounded by a lot of people who do comic books that I can, get some pointers on and change some things. Warren being one of those guys. So That's why we're moving forward with Attack on Cookie. And I do a ton of shows. Before COVID, I was doing 44 shows a year, 40 shows a year. So it was about to become a full-time job. Then COVID.
Yeah.
It is what it
40
is.
shows a year. That is
Yeah.
a marathon of shows. Like,
we were traveling. We had a crew, so we could travel together. And you know, I went as far as Chicago. C2E2 was my last show before COVID. Like, we were moving. Like, I would have been, if I'd have kept going and then started doing it full time. There's no doubt that within 12 to 18 months, I would have made it to ECC. See? Emerald City Comic Con. Yeah, ECCC. Out by you in the Pacific Northwest in no time. I would have made my way out there. So that was the goal. Obviously, the goals have changed. But Warren said, I'm not, like Warren said, and you said it perfectly. I've had to explain this to a few people. I'm not a comic book. Like, I love comic books. I love anime. I love manga. I'm not a comic book creator like you, Warren. I'm an artist. I like to make things. So I'm treating my comic book now as an art piece. That's why it's taken me so long. But I finally got my ass to it, and we're moving. So we're getting on it.
Well, that's one thing I learned. Like, I try not to worry a lot about how long it's taking, as long as it's still moving. Because if you start putting dates on yourself, you put too much pressure, and then it might just ruin the whole project. If you're like, oh, well, everything has to be done by this date. Well, life gets in the way sometimes because, we're both working artists where we're working day jobs while we're trying to build up our careers and our skills, so it's like you really can't put too much pressure on yourself, just as long as you keep moving. I'm not saying just go all relaxed, but at the same time though, like, don't kill yourself to do this.
Ironically enough, it's just recently when we talked about doing, you helped me out with the project and stuff. The goal is to have it done for August for Anime NYC, which I made it onto unfortunately, I got waitlisted for, and then I decided, no, we're going to make this a New York Comic Con exclusive to give ourselves a little bit more time so we don't rush, so we can get stuff done. The idea for me now is to completely have finished 8 to 10 pages by the end of June, which is not crazy because I already have them all pretty much laid out and stuff. Get them to Warren because Warren's going to be grayscaling and lettering. And then the end of July, finish everything and get it PDF'd and ready to ready to go to print. And then at that point, I just got to save the money I'm going to need to print it, and then we'll take it from there.
What's up, DK? Welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm getting excited to work on those pages and to help bring that project to life.
You're one of the few that's gotten to see the script. A lot of people don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
And this is what I'll use this. I know they got people in the chat and stuff. I'm working on a book called Attack on Cookie. It's a mashup. It's a satirical parody using tropes and imagery similar to that you would find in Attack on Titan and Sesame Street Muppets. So the idea, and I'll do the quick 20-second pit, the 20-second, in the world of Attack on Titan, humanity has to hide behind walls to protect themselves from these monsters, the Titans. In our world, humanity's lust for fossil fuels has forced it behind the walls, and they only forage out when they need to seek the last remaining fossil fuel, which is protected by monsters. That fossil fuel is sesame oil. That's Attack on Cookie. And yeah, we got my buddy. I should have mentioned his name. My buddy Jay Hewer. The idea came up. I made a print for my first New York Comic Con in 2014, and it's I should be able to pull that up. Is what I should do.
Tell me when you want to share it. I'm over here.
I'm going to try to find it because I don't know where I left it.
Do you want to talk much about the story, or do you like keeping that tight?
The story we're going to keep a little tight right now. Where's the print? Where is it? I just had it here. Okay, hold on. We're not done yet.
Yeah, because that's one of my things is, and Max DeVille's gotten on me about it too. Is that I'll tell you everything, like page for page. Like I was like, you want to see it? Like I'll show people. I'm bad at hiding until premiere date when it comes to my art or my comics. I'm just like, oh, I'll show anybody. You want to see it? You want a copy?
No, I've gotten pretty good at not doing that and not talking about that. I just know I didn't. I've gotten pretty good at that because over years, because I just don't want to. So
well, you mentioned taking critiques. That is something that is a learned ability. Like it took me a bit to be able to take essentially any critique now, no matter how harsh it is, and learn from it and move on and not be like destroyed by it. But it took me.
Yeah, it's I think art classes in school, and a lot of times doing graffiti and doing other things, you learn to get a little bit more thicker skinned because you got instant, I shared up the print, by the way.
All right, let me switch over here. All right, boom.
That is the original drawing. As you see, you have Cookie Monster up there. Instead of buildings and houses, it's milk and cookies and Aaron staring up. Because if anybody's watched the first episode of Attack on Titan, excuse me, Jesus Christ, it's rough, right? It's brutal. It's like he ate his mom, like Jesus. It's tough. So I kind of was like, oh, let's soften that up. And 2014 was the initial craze, when it was just everywhere. So I thought that would be fun. And sure enough, 11 years later, it's still my best seller, still really popular. People love it. They think it's hysterical. So, and again, it's a mashup, so it's a lot of fun. And my buddy Jay Hewer, who's written the book Carriers and a bunch of other stuff, it's like, oh, I want to write a short story, which ended up turning into a comic book. And I was like, okay, let's make this happen. Now, I will share. How do I do that? Okay, we don't do it like that. I'm going to share something else now. So we'll stop sharing that. And then we'll share this. So this is actually what the New York Comic Con exclusive cover is going to look like. I'm probably going to leave the googly eyes there and just put everybody's names down here somewhere,
Yeah.
But that's the way that's going to go. Tack on Cookie, nice and simple, with the New York Comic Con exclusive logo on it, because I'm allowed to do that as per being a vendor at New York Comic Con. Is that
going to be a sketch cover, or is that going to
be? It's just a blue cover. Somebody wants to sketch on it, cool. If somebody wants to sketch on it, cool. Somebody doesn't want to sketch it, whatever. But it will have the names here, or probably down here, and probably down here, New York Comic Con exclusive. So I don't know how much room there's going to be to sketch on it, but whatever. That's fine. So we're going to do that for New York Comic Con. That's the new logo and what everything looks like. I have to thank our buddy Tom Hutchinson from Big Dog Inc. for helping me through cleaning up the logo and things like that. That was who definitely and we were just talking about, gave some really great critique and helped me out putting that together. So I thank him for that. So that's what the book is going to look like. The first book. Okay, the first book. Jesus Christ.
No, I like it though, because you want a cover to catch an eye, and the logo's good, and it pops on that color. So it's like, it's simple, but yet it should catch eyes.
Now, the idea is I'm going to pay for it myself, sell books at New York Comic Con. The money made from New York Comic Con is going to pay for a Kickstarter in November, is the plan, with 4 new covers. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a cover. I know I've already asked our buddy Warren here if he'd like to, and we've already discussed what I'd like him to do. And that's going to be fun. I can't wait to see it. I have one artist who's a bucket list artist for me because I'm a fan of her work. I'm not going to say the name yet because I don't want to jinx anything, because I haven't sent them money or anything or talked to them about it. But you've seen her work on the covers of Atrocity Press. So super excited for that. And I have spoken to, and I can say that our good friend Ben Dunn will be doing a cover for the Kickstarter as well. Because this I mean, it's manga style, so it's been done. You know.
Yeah.
So this will be and this cover will not be on the Kickstarter. This is New York Comic Con exclusive only. So that's how that's going to go. And then hopefully the Kickstarter will pay for issue 2. And once these books are sent to printing, Jay and I have already discussed sitting down and talking about issue 2. So there we go. We will do 3 issues. We're not doing a full series like 80,000 episodes or anything like that. Nope. We are not One Piece. We are doing 3 books and that's it. And yeah, so that's who we are right now.
Is there any plans for yourself to do any more books, maybe something else, or work with someone else after this, or have you thought that far ahead yet?
If anyone, okay, first off, yes and no. I really haven't thought about it like, oh, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. But at the same time, if somebody, especially somebody that we know, turns around and go, hey, Pink, who's Pink? Pete, do you want to ink this? Or Pete, can you do? I did it again. Fuck. Pete, do you want to do a cover for this? Do you want to do that? Yes, absolutely. I'm not soliciting out there. I'm not out there, beating pavement trying to get work, but I am absolutely open to it and available to it. But like I said, I'm just trying to do art pieces. So yeah, so we're trying to do that. I do have an idea. I have 2 ideas in my head. One of the original Fat Guy Inc. Presents books was one of the stories, because we did a bunch of stories in each book. And one of the first stories was a little story I called Jimmy Friday, which was a luchador who was dealing with kind of a vision quest kind of thing, trying to figure out who killed his dad, was the champion. Now he had his dad's belt, but he never really earned it. And the whole world it's basically, if you ever watched the show Kung Fu, came from with David Carradine, it's like Kung Fu meets Rey Mysterio. So that kind of thing going on. So luchadors walking the earth where everybody's a luchador or everything's lucha inspired, and they go from town to town or territory from territory if you're a wrestling fan, and they fight for the belts and they fight for honor and all this stuff and all these crazy things and hijinks ensue. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's the closest story idea I had, and I've had this for 10 years. I just haven't put it together. I mean, I put it together, but I just haven't done anything. I haven't done anything with it in, oh God, probably 7 years. But it's the action and the style, not the art style, but the action, the story style is very similar to Sig and Joe. It's an adventure. It's this ongoing story. It's this huge world that's all created and stuff. I'm not trying to universe build or anything like that. I mean, I'm keeping it pretty simple, Lucha Libre.
I like the idea though, the whole world of luchadors.
This is where you're an artist and anybody else is an artist. Talk to me for a second. This wasn't the idea, but this was a happy accident that I'm very happy that it worked out. I don't have to draw faces.
Oh, yep.
I don't have to draw faces. I'm kind of happy about that. I know that's lazy as shit, but whatever. And then I'm going to switch my camera for this one. Not present. Stupid.
Now, one downside is you have to try your best to draw emotion while wearing a mask, which I guess it's not that difficult really, especially with lucha masks because they're so decorative. So you'd be able to play with it almost like a Spider-Man plays with the eyes and stuff.
Very much like a Spider-Man. A lot of the times, though, you lucked out because you have the eye hole, so the eyes can be expressive.
That's true too. Yeah.
So you got away with that. You got like there at one point there's a pot, and I can talk about this story because I don't know if we're going to keep it. If we're not going to keep it, Jimmy goes to find his uncle, who was the only wrestler ever to retire with his title, right? And he had it up on a wall in the restaurant he built. And then I had him. It's like a cantina thing, but it's very much like a Hooters or a Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah.
And he's this big fat guy. He kind of looked like Dom DeLuise in the Cannonball Run. That kind of when he was that character. If you're old enough, I'm showing my age. But I'm a fat guy, so I can say I had a fat guy with the luchador mask on. But he was super expressive and super Jabba the Hutt like and things like that. It was really cool, and I got to be very expressive with him, so it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And then the other idea I had, which I don't know if it'll ever come out, I had an idea for a story, and we called them and it was right. It was after, and Warren will appreciate this. It was after I got done binging Kaiju number 8.
Oh yeah,
I want to do a story called the Schoolgirl Samurai Squad.
Nice.
Okay. They're kind of like a Shield, like Agents of Shield, but just samurai schoolgirls. So you had that was one of the possibilities for a character. I needed 7 of them, so I drew a few of these. Yeah, her there, kind of. I figured this might be your boss. There's the crazy one, because you have to have the crazy one.
You always have to have the crazy one.
All right, so we have.
What's up, Dingus Dan? Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. What's up, Michael? How are you doing?
That was just a little sketchy sketch. Another one, kind of like the assassin kind of one. And then you got to have somebody with the little super buns, the Princess Leia buns, right?
Yeah.
And then these kind of turned into the 2 that were going to be the badasses. That's the badass there. And then I actually ended up coloring that one. That's going to be the probably the main badass there. But yeah, so that's kind of an idea. That's kind of an idea I had. So am I doing other stories? Yeah. Are we going to see if those 2 come to light? I'll see how I feel after Attack on Cookie's done within the next year or 2. So, and speaking of Attack on Cookie, this is what our male character is going to look like. That's Rico. I'm going to change his name, though. And that's Dawn. Now, in the book, you've already read it, Warren, so we're really adding to this, though. It's not because we're dealing with like a fossil fuel kind of satirical thing. They're not going to be on horseback. They're going to be riding ATVs. So there's going to be a driver and the attacker who's going to be riding shotgun, behind the driver on the ATV. So the driver, Dawn, she's a driver. She's going to have guns and stuff, but she needs to protect herself while she's driving the ATV. The guy in the back is going to have the swords like Attack on Cookie, like Attack on Titan, but he's not going to, how they have the gear with the wires and they fly, like Batman. We're not doing this here. We're going to give them jetpacks, like kind of Mandalorian style jetpacks.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it changes it. So, I'm not outright taking anything like somebody else's IP, the Attack on Titan IP. I kind of made it different. So they'll still kind of look like it, but different and like super different. It's more, I'm not directly taking something like Mad Magazine did and stuff like that. I'm kind of, okay, this kind of looks like Attack on Titan, but it's not.
Yeah.
These are the soldiers who fight. I forget what the name is out, but they fight for the CTN. I think it was the Colony something, whatever. CTN being the acronym for Children's Television Network. Haha. So there's a lot of that going on in this book. There's a lot of that. And then the other thing is this is what our blue monster is going to look like. Yes, he's holding a pastry, a biscuit. Kind of wall-eyed. He's kind of a little bit different than what you would expect another Muppet type monster to look like. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So
we've talked about it before, but for the audience, what are the rules when you're doing parody on how close the designs are along those lines? Because you're working with other IPs, but you're doing parody on it, so there is protection. But do you have to do any certain things in order to keep work from getting a cease and desist from like Sesame Street or from Toho or what whoever owns Attack on Titan?
I looked at it with and I actually talked to him about it years ago when he performed at my college. I was part of the crew that helped set him up and break him down, and we got to spend a little bit of time with him. And I asked him about that because we're both huge Mad Magazine fans, and that's Weird Al Yankovic. I actually asked him about that, and his take was, and you first do it so it's your own still, Number one, like this was the artistic way. Do it so it's your own, but then legally wise, do it so people can't think that it's okay. For we use because Weird Al didn't, he's famous for the Michael Jackson parodies. Do it so people don't think it's Michael Jackson, but that it's kind of like Michael Jackson. So you're not pretending that you are Michael Jackson to try to trick people into it's a new Michael Jackson song. Oh no, this is a new Weird Al song making fun of Michael Jackson. That's a parody.
Okay, gotcha.
Then this is where I learned Michael Jackson had sued Weird Al 20 times, and it never went to court because Weird Al was completely within the parody and satirical laws that are covered by copyright. Same thing as Saturday Night Live. Same thing as Mad Magazine and Crack Magazine. South Park. All these guys that are doing satire and parody, the Daily Show, whatever, they're protected because they're not just going, look, it's Attack on Titan. Ha, 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 ha. No, they're not doing that. They're making it their own thing. So because the print made it its own, oh, that kind of looks like Attack on Titan. Is that an Oreo? Is that cookie? Wait a minute. What's going on there? So you need to make it so it's not, you don't think it's the original. It's something different, but just in the same vein as the original, or kind of like most of the time, especially here, making fun of the original. Now, as far as like specific stuff, and the perfect example having this guy here, there's changes as to what monster this is. Some things are the same, some things are different. But if I remember correctly, and there is, I don't know how up to date it is, but there was a panel from San Diego Comic-Con forever ago that was on YouTube. I have it saved somewhere. Where there's a copyright lawyer talking about fan art and this, that, and the other thing. I do a bit of fan art, so I need to make sure I'm safe. And you didn't the overwhelming idea. First off, I do a lot of paintings, and paintings are actually protected under copyright because they're one-offs. But as far as this for like a comic book or a print or something, again, it needs to, you need to know that it's mine, something that I came, a pose or something that I came up with, and it's not me selling something for the original. You need to, this isn't the original, this is me. So this Goku print that I did with him with, pigtails and, whatever, it's not from DBZ, it's from me making fun of Goku or having fun with Goku or something. Like I have a print that's very popular. It's L from Death Note and Detective Pikachu. Okay, they're together, and L's like, what the fuck is this yellow thing? And Detective Pikachu's just like, hi, Pikachu, how you doing? And I call it World's Greatest Detectives because they're both detectives. But the way it works, the way they play off each other, it's like, what? Okay, that's nobody made that. Okay, you made that because you're crazy. Or the other thing that I had that's very popular, I took two things that I loved, the Grand Theft Auto. So I did a cover of the Grand Theft Auto video game, but I used SpongeBob characters. So it's Grand Theft Auto Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, that one was a fun one.
And that's completely, not. I hit the camera and now it's all there. So it's completely different, and you can tell, no, this isn't a video game. This isn't from SpongeBob. This is something that you came up with. Okay, cool. So that's that. But again, the rule of thumb, and I don't think it's a rule of thumb. I think it's the wrong way to explain it. But I think the general rule or the actual copyright is you got to change at least 30% of the character. So that's why, if we go back to these guys. That doesn't look like anybody from Attack on Titan. She's got a black leather jacket, a handgun,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then you can see he has a backpack kind of thing going on. He does have the short jacket, but it doesn't have the same logos or anything. His boots are completely different. He's wearing long pants. He's got knee pads. He'll have a sword, but it'll be a different kind of sword, and that kind of thing. So that's, the general, some enough differences in the soldiers where you can be like, oh, it kind of looks like Attack on Titan, but why are they on? And again, we're using ATVs, not horses, that kind of stuff. So we've changed enough. So it's different.
Okay, cool.
And safe. At the same time, look, you can get hit with the cease and desist at any time for any reasons when you're doing parody or stuff like that. It's what's the word? How do I explain it? It's not. You just got to be smart. You got to, and the general idea is you're having fun with it. As long as you're having fun with it, and you're not trying to, you're not trying to steal somebody else's stuff to make a buck, which is kind of the point. I'm not trying to steal anything from Muppets or anything from Attack on Titan. I'm not trying to steal anything from them. I put these two characters together just because I thought it would be funny. And now we're making something else out of it. So a third thing is coming out of it. And this third thing is going to be different than what they did. And it's my job to make it different enough. And hopefully I've succeeded.
And you're not doing anything to harm their brand either.
No, I'm really not.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I mean, Jesus, that would be great if, well, maybe the Muppets would pick me up, but it'd be great if the people who make Attack on Titan be like, hey, we want to publish that in one big manga. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Absolutely. We're going to redraw it. Go ahead. Just as long as my name's on it, I really don't care. Totally fine. Totally A-okay. Don't care. Fine. Fine by that. So, yeah. Super happy about that. All right. I'll do that.
But yeah, that is cool. Lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe, which will be awesome to see all come together. And yeah, that's badass.
Yeah, super excited about it. Super excited about it. So now everybody watching should be excited because Warren is not just doing a cover. He's going to be grayscaling and lettering the book. We brought Warren because I'm doing the book in black and white because does have a manga feel, and Warren's style is just perfect for that. And I also thought, number one, it would hide my shitty drawing. Number one, number two, it would make it look a little bit different than that. Like maybe there is a distinct possibility that I could get even with talking about doing a parody and blah blah, blah making changes and stuff. There is absolutely a possibility of me getting a little too close in my artwork to the characters, or to getting in trouble or something like that. So having somebody else doing even if it was coloring, but doing the grayscaling will keep that from being a concern.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. And
yeah, it's exciting. It's cool having all the projects and stuff lined up. Like I'm already starting to write and script out a bigger version of the How the Squirrels Saved Longview book. And
That's awesome.
I'm starting to get that together. That's going to be probably a 60 to 80 page one-shot graphic novel, because right now the book's 17, but it's more like it's a grandfather telling his grandson about what happened in real kind of bullet point type kind of deal. And so it's only 17 pages long, but the fleshed out one is going to have new characters, and I'm doing that's a good one for you too. Are you doing character Bibles and all of the prep work, the extensive prep work they want people to talk about doing, character Bibles and doing multiple character sheets and stuff like that, or for any of your books right now, or are you just going into it more minimalistic?
Oh, well, first off, what's up, Max? Max is in the chat. Because he likes to say your last show, we were like, he's not paying attention to chat, bastard. So we went, hi, Max, we're paying attention to the chat.
Thank you.
For Attack on Cookie, Jay is the writer. So, and then we're both going to sit down and kind of but because we're doing 3 books, our universe building or our Bible building, really, we're going to go as we want. We have an idea of what we want each book to be. The book is going to continue the story, but each premise for each book, and then boom, we're done, and then cash out. For Jimmy Friday, there was a bit of I did write out what I wanted the world to be, but again, that was really simple. Lucha Libre meets Kung Fu. Let's go. And then a lot of it, when I would write the outline or the short story, the 8 paragraphs or whatever on what I want this to be about. Like one chapter was about an assassin coming to get his belt. One chapter was about the bad guy beating up his minions because he wasn't happy with how they were working. The other one was, Jimmy trying to hook up and things like that, or going on his vision quest in his uncle's bar. Those were the ideas that came up with, so I kept everything kind of simple. So it kind of worked. It really worked like almost a disjointed TV show, like the old Voltron shows or something like that. For the Samurai Schoolgirls, I don't know what I'm gonna do. As far as a Bible, I kind of, again, because I'm treating it like an art piece, and I'm not a comic book guy, a creator.
Yeah.
Like I see you, I see Max, I see our buddy Larry doing all these things. I don't even want to pretend that I see you guys creating stuff all the time. I don't even want to pretend that I'm on that level or I'm a comic book creator. I don't want to insult anybody by doing that, or Ben Dunn or anybody like that. So I don't want to do that. But as far as character designs and things like that, yeah, I do have some. Again, because I'm drawing them, they're pretty rough. But like when I send to you, to Ben, and to the other artist for the covers, I'll have a nice character, like your typical character sheet. 360, what they look like, what they wear, kind of stuff with notes. Like, hey, this is what they look like, this is what they wear. Other than that, go crazy. Like you'll all get that from me, just because this is what it is. But I'm also gonna give some freedom as to, because I don't want to hamper anybody's artistic thoughts or ideas or anything like that. So that's a long-winded answer. Sorry.
Whenever I commission an artist for covers, I offer the full. I offer the PDF, so it's like I'll give them the full PDF, even if it's not lettered. I'll give it just so that way they can see the art, the characters, and I like covers that are connected to the story. So, but they don't have to be. But I always like, if you want to, here's what's going on in this issue. If you want to make something that fits that.
I'm going to be, and this is going to sound like such a. I'm with you on that. I like that too. For the covers that I'm going to have everybody do, and if you want to do that for your cover, rock solid. I'm going to be honest with you. For the other, even for you, I just fucking go for it. Is my idea.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm not really super worried about that because, and again, I'm not looking at this. Oh, my next Kickstarter and then my other Kickstarter, and then in 3 years, my 7 Kickstarters. This might be the only Kickstarter I ever do. I don't. I'm just trying to, hey, buy my shit. Come on, check it out.
Buy my.
That's where we're going. Which is why I'm trying to get one cover done before New York Comic Con, one Kickstarter cover done before the New York Comic Con exclusive, so I can be like, hey, and this is what's coming up next, this, that, the other thing, just to kind of basically do a lot of buzz and a lot of hit and run kind of stuff and things like that. Just trying to get people interested and thinking about it. I've had it out for years. We actually did a preview a few years ago, so we do have people that have been waiting for it. And here it comes, kids. Here it comes. I don't know who Doug is.
I have a question, artistic opinion question here. So what I'm okay, so in the scene, Sig and Joe are getting attacked, and Joe's jumping in front of Sig and saying, "Look out." Now, my original thought on this was, I'm going to show you here. Joe going like this. But when I draw it, I want to. Does it look like?
It looks off, right?
It does. It looks
like it looks like his hands upside down. I was thinking immediately, and I'm going to use CM Punk here. So, because you're trying to get this right?
Yeah, yeah. Like he's putting his arm up to deflect.
Right. That kind of looks weird. You could probably get away with doing that.
Okay, so I already. Okay, so what about?
I know his arm doesn't bend. Yeah, something like that.
Like it's
something
a fist,
like that. Or
I mean, yeah.
But if you rotate the fist so that the pinky is facing the viewer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, like and then you can't really, you know, like get this. Yeah.
Kind of like
yeah. Then you can then you can really angle it.
Okay, so then I'm gonna have to just move this stuff around too a bit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that works better. That's easier. I mean, that looks better.
It's just easier, and it doesn't. What it does is look. It's 6 1/2 dozen of the other, but what it does is it makes it look less wonky.
Yeah,
and
because the other way just did not look right for some reason.
Let's be really honest. Anybody who doesn't know or isn't looking for something like that wouldn't notice. Either way, wouldn't notice it, and it wouldn't matter. But you would notice it, and it would drive you crazy.
Bug the shit out of me.
So, you know. So, funny story. I saw the button on the top of the program that we're using, and it said "Stream to your audience." So I hit the button, and I'm streaming this stream on my Twitch right now.
Oh, awesome! I should have told you about that. I got the first paid tier, so you can subscribe to. So you now can go and stream it to yours also. So yeah, that's
right. Cool. So I just did that. I'm debating on the paid or not paid. I took a little break after CradleCon where I streamed for like 16 hours, 8 hours each day. I just got a little tired, but luckily my motivation came back because I just got paid from Twitch. So, and I've been discussing not moving to YouTube, but streaming one day to Twitch, one day to YouTube to see if I can build the YouTube up. But we'll see. It's weird. I don't want to do anything crazy.
Yeah, I decided to go with YouTube. I've been streaming with a streamer named by the name of MSK, and I'm on the show Wednesdays and Fridays. And then I was like, okay, I got to pick at least one day and try to do a draw stream, even though I know draw streams are not really the most popular thing on YouTube. I was like, just get it or do it, and then have be just try to be like once a week, be good with it, try to do something that you're going to have fun doing, like which was I thought interviewing, not really interviewing, but drawing with artists and talking about art and streaming and along those lines would be fun to do. And it that means I don't have to talk all on my own all the time, which can be all of its own annoying. And but yeah, that's so I was decided I was just going to keep trying to go here.
That works.
Okay, yeah, that was your comment. Cool. All right. I mean, yeah, keep an eye on the comments too. But yeah, I just trying to go in. I still stream to TikTok, but that's more random. I'm gonna pick a day and start doing that weekly also, because I've got some traction on TikTok for.
You really did though.
Yeah, for Lord knows why, but I'm adding subscribers like daily, and I barely post on there. So I've got to start getting a little bit more active on there and start streaming some more.
I've been doing bartender stuff on TikTok, and I just had one hit pretty well. It's like at 14,000 views or something.
Oh wow, nice.
It was because I used to work at Olive Garden forever ago. I slung breadsticks. I don't anymore. But one of the things was we only had one salad dressing, but they sold a different salad dressing in the stores. Now that I saw at Target, they had like 8 Olive Garden salad dressings. So I was like, see, here, now you can get all the fucking salad dressings you want. Go get your salad. Click. The video was just me just being kind of rude towards, the people who would always ask me for like different dressings. Why don't you have different dressings? I saw it in the store. We don't have it here, and I got a name tag on, bro. Like, give me a break. So and it caught on. So I gotta do I gotta do more of those. They seem to be popular, at least a little bit, or in my own mind. So whatever. Try that out.
Yeah, right now I'm on page 47 of 76 of the Sig and Joe issue 4.
Screw you. Overachieving bastard. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, I feel like it's still just penciling too. I gotta go through and ink and gray tone and letter all these things. So I'll probably be done with this one sometime in July with the way my work schedule and everything's been going.
I hear that.
The work's not bad. It's just I'm really tired after work, so I've got to drag my fat ass over here to draw.
Yeah, that's it too. It's like, I gotta work. I gotta do stuff. This isn't fun. It is fun though.
Yeah, it is once you get in. It's like going to the gym. Once you get there, you never regret going.
Keep going.
I was just saying it's the same thing. I never regret drawing. Getting a page done or along those lines.
And we've talked about this when you get a block or something, when you're working on something. I had a buddy tell me, he's actually Bun Leung. You've seen his work and he's incredible. He goes, just work. Like,
yeah,
you draw something or do something art related. Like, yesterday I got home from work and I didn't feel like doing anything. And even today too, a little bit. So I just started organizing all my stuff. I just started organizing where my stuff is and my workspace in this. Still not where I want it to be, but it's better than where it was. And it's kind of motivating me to want to start working on things. My hands hurt right now. So I'm not drawing right now because I'll start in a second probably, but my hands are killing me.
Yeah. I've been having to wear the hand brace when I'm not drawing lately because I've been going numb and hurting a bit too much. So
that's it.
Wear the brace when I'm not drawing, and it helps relax the wrist, and then I'll go and do some art.
Trying to get shit done. That's really all it is.
Really, it is. Getting this stuff, yeah, I'm getting. But when I don't feel like drawing or I just can't bring myself to draw, I'll do. Oh, okay. I'll just start working on the script of my next project. Like I'll go and work on the squirrel book, or do some sketches of the different characters and the aliens and stuff like that.
I can't write to save my life. At least I don't think I can. I'm pretty sure I can't.
Oh, so you're not going to venture into try and write or anything along those lines? Just stick with working with other people,
or Jimmy Friday I can write myself because it's really campy wrestling stuff, and then I could use my wrestling knowledge for that. Yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. If I do end up doing the Samurai Schoolgirl book, I don't know yet. I really don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. Like what I will do and what I'll always do, I'll write a little outline, maybe even 2-page essay on it, right? I can do that, explaining what I want to do and what's going on and blah blah blah. I could even detail. There you go, Max. I can go into some details for characters and stuff like that and figure it out. Excuse me for 1 second, though. I just want to go hit the head.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, sometimes, Max, that's what it feels like trying to get an idea going. Oh, everyone in the chat, make sure you give Atrocity Press a follow. Max DeVille. He's part of a team of Atrocity Press, putting out Mary Machine Gun, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank because I'm tired and stoned. But yeah, he's got a lot of good work and books out there. Like and follow him. Niobe Comics, another great comic creator. Niobe Savage Sin. Yeah, there's make sure you guys look him up and follow him. Make sure you follow Pete. He does streaming on Twitch and possibly on YouTube here coming up soon. And yeah, but right now I'm doing a second pass over the page, and I'll probably this will probably be the only pass I'll need to do. I try to get everything kind of figured out on the page before I move on. So then that way when I'm doing the inking, I'm not trying to correct too much. I want everything to be where it's going to be, and the inking. So for the inking stage, it will clean up a little bit even more on the inking stage. But right now, I just do enough pencils so that when I am inking, I'm not doing an insane amount of like redraw details or along those lines.
Pat, Irish Punk there. I'm from Twitter. I am here.
Okay.
No. Yeah, this is Pat. I am here. I'm restreaming Warren's show. This is the LunchBox Warren show. I am a guest, and I saw that I was able to share it to my audience as well, so that more people can see Warren's amazing stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, and then Irish Punk shows up in my comments over here too. That's cool. All right. Hi, Irish Punk. Welcome to the show. Oh yes, I'm sorry. That was the name that fucking slipped my stoned mind, and I love. It's one of my favorite books of yours too. Is Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Deep Space. Yeah, and Human Hunters, another great one that I love. But that's more with you and Johnny Reed. Johnny Reed and Max DeVille make up Atrocity Press, folks. And that's a good one to follow with, especially if you like your more rated R comics that your mom wouldn't let you read, kind of books, I believe is what the tagline is.
Yeah, they're dope. They're all dope, though.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely check them
out. Working on my motion lines. I've been stealing this from mangas pretty hardcore lately.
Yeah, that's you'll see some of that in Attack on Cookie. Oh, it is midnight, isn't it? God, I got a doctor's appointment early in the morning. Oh well.
Do you need to take off soon, or
no? Because if I go to sleep now, I'm going to sleep through it.
Okay.
So we're all gravy. I'm just scratching my butt.
Yeah, doing these speed lines it's like using lots of black. It's something you just have to do and just work with it till you can make it work, even though it's kind of intimidating.
Oh, it's absolutely intimidating.
But yeah, I've been studying a lot of Sakamoto days.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I've been rereading a lot of the Attack on Titan manga because they use a lot of speed lines to flash out motion and stuff like that. Okay, so it'll help me give me kind of some inspiration for the pages a little bit.
Yeah.
So I digs it.
How was doing a storyboard class? Is I've heard that from other comic book artists was how helpful storyboarding is when you're because a lot of what you're doing is setting with composition, setting up your pages, trying to get the motion across, and I've heard that for multiple times now. What did you think about it?
I had a film teacher and an art teacher in college, different people. And it's something that a lot of people talk about even now. Comic book creators will talk to you about it now, especially the way, social media and the way you can make a movie on your phone and whatnot. Comic books are a movie, and you're basically getting to see the storyboards of a movie. Like a great example is, if you remember The Walking Dead, when they left the prison, the one that was just all Carl, like Rick was passed out on the couch, and it was all Carl doing things.
Yeah,
that was almost page for page from the comic, panel from panel, page for page from the comic book. It was one of the few like direct to comic book stuff from Walking Dead, and they even like, oh, we use the comic book to help with storyboards because comic books are storyboards. Comic books are a movie.
yeah,
There's stuff in Watchmen that's like, there's stuff in all these comic book movies where, a little bit of it's coming from, they're using the panels of a comic book as a storyboard, and the panels of a comic book are like you're seeing a movie because it's still pictures,
yeah.
And it makes sense because, the blocking, and okay, where is this person? Where's the light source? Where's that? Okay, you're making these little pieces of art on this one big piece of art that's a page, yes, but at the same time, they all have to go together, sequential, kind of like a storyboard. So it really, now some storyboards are very rough, some storyboards are very, woohoo, crazy, depending on who the person is, but it works. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, if you watch, yeah, exactly. Like especially with Zack Snyder films, like if you watch 300 and hold the 300 graphic novel in your lap and turn the pages with the movie, it's almost like just watching the pages come alive because he
Right.
uses it. He must have had it like in his hand. It's like, okay, we need to make this scene now, and along those lines, especially with the Watchmen. Watchmen is just like a perfect translation. And I think the ending's better than in the comic book.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just beautifully done. Now, if he could just do that with his own written stuff, it would be better. But he seems to have a problem when he doesn't have a comic book in front of him to help him out with it.
It happens. It'll be fine. I'm
Oh yeah, he's gonna
not
have
worried
plenty
for
of
him.
work. No, he's gonna have plenty of work through Netflix.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Are you getting excited for the Superman and the Fantastic Four movies?
Fantastic Four more than anything because I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan. However, I think it was Kevin Smith, who I never agree with the last few years, but I agreed with him on this one. He said he can't wait for Superman. It doesn't sound like, there's no way you could. Well, and he goes, there's only one way you could screw it up, and it's after you do something to the dog. And I'm like,
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Yep, absolutely correct, absolutely correct. Leave the dog alone, and we're fine. Fuck with the dog, you're gonna ruin everything.
Yeah, that is so true, though.
So don't mess with the dog.
I wasn't as ecstatic about Fantastic Four at first because the first trailer didn't really it didn't really make a great impression for me, but the later trailers, the more recent ones, it does look like it's going to be quite a fun movie.
It's I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah,
So and that's really
Marvel
just it.
needs a win too because they're kind of hurting right now.
I mean, the I why are they hurting? Like, and that's any opinion is valid. It's just an opinion, but It's like I say the same thing for wrestling and a bunch of other stuff. When the extremists in the fandom, because there are people who will love anything.
Yeah.
Then there are people that are like, oh, this sucks. And then there's most of us who I just want to see the movie. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show my age. It's like, look, back in the day, we'd see that a movie was coming out. We'd go, we'd see it, then we decide if it sucks. You know, a lot of people now, and I'm going to use this as the example because it happened. When with that San Diego Comic-Con panel, when we saw the thing, and it was a Batman Superman logo, and that was it. The next day, there were already people online saying that the movie's going to suck.
Yeah.
Not a script, not nothing, just an idea. We're going to do this. It sucks. Fandom needs to shut up. Like, turn off the internet and just go watch the thing. And, you know, maybe have your own expectations as a fan, but not social media's expectations as a fan, and see what happens.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
we have a big problem with that, like with the monetization of drama that causes a lot of these guys to create. They got to create some kind of negative comment about something, so eventually it just gets to the point where they're mocking stuff that they haven't even seen or come out yet.
But here's the perfect example. When the first trailer for the live action Lilo and Stitch came out, Disney sucks, Disney this, oh my god, it's gonna be another blah blah blah, like the Snow White, blah, it's gonna suck. $850 million worldwide.
Yeah.
And guess what, kids? It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I've been calling that one too. I was like, Disney has had some misses with Marvel and with Snow White when it comes financially, and I was like, Lilo and Stitch is going to be $1 billion movie.
Yeah,
that's going to be it's going to be a great film for them, and it's already on track. I think the only thing that's going to derail it is Jurassic Park coming up in the 1st of June. I think that's the only real big thing that's coming out next. So I imagine Jurassic Park will take it off the number 1 spot because it was number 1 again this weekend. So it was it's rolling like a chief right straight into $1 billion. But yeah, you're right though with that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Ever since Endgame, Marvel has been less concerned with story, and they're rushing projects. And they also seem to have a problem with budgets inflating way over for what they should be for what they're creating. And that's a big problem because they have a faith problem where stuff costs too much. People don't want to go out and spend money. They might only be going to a movie like once every 6 months because of the way the economy is and the way stuff's going. So if you have some films that aren't great or some stinkers or a bunch of stuff coming out, they don't want to. You start losing that fan goodwill, and like with Thunderbolts was critically a success. Lots of critics loved it, and the audience scores on lots of different sites were in the positive. So it was one of the better reviewed films in a while, both audiences and fans. It's still I think it's still made less than Brave New World, Captain America. So these films are breaking even or losing money for Disney right now, and they're not even bad films. It's just they're lost the faith of their audience on a lot of this stuff, and
the other problem, and you factor that, I think you're right, but then you factor in, remember that Screen Actors Guild strike, because of the strike was because of streaming, kids. Okay, the streaming and things like that, and where you can move the money around. So because they moved the money around a little bit, now they're not so well, we don't know about the theaters anymore because and to be fair, was it Matt Damon who explained it? You got to understand something. If something has $100 million budget, it's got X amount of money, so it needs to make like twice that to be even.
Yeah,
to be even. $100 million movie needs to make $200 million to be even, right? So can Shang-Chi do that? Can, Brave New World do, like, I don't know, especially now that some of that money, because of streaming, has to go this way and that way and this way. And I'm not defending anybody or taking away from anybody. It's just changed the landscape of everything. Where, again, back in our day, we could just, going to the movies on Friday night, Thursday night, whatever, blah, 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 see everything in the movies, because there was no other place to watch it. Other than waiting for it to come out on HBO a year and a half later.
Well, you had, like the movie Ant-Man Quantumania. The budget ballooned up to $388 million. And in Hollywood, it's like they usually spend half of the film budget on marketing. So another 150, 160 million on top of that. So now you're getting up into the $400 to $500 million range. Well, then a film has to make double its cost in order to be considered a success. So now Ant-Man Quantumania's got to make $1 billion just to be considered a success. And for Marvel, like, there's reports. Now this report came from IMDb, and who knows if it's true or not. But it's looking like right now, Avengers Doomsday is going to be is going to have a $500 to $600 million budget, and then if you add in marketing, it's going to be close to $1 billion. In some reports, over $1 billion. So that means it has to make $2 billion just to be considered a success. Hey, what's up, Niobe? Niobe Gaming is in the chat. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of cool videos that he puts up, a lot of comic book news, talking about gaming, comics, and he also is the creator of Niobe and Savage Sin, and big on Kickstarter. So make sure you guys check him out. But yeah, so like if Avengers Doomsday has to make $2 billion just to be considered a success, I mean, Endgame made over $2 billion, but we're in a different fan landscape than we were with Endgame. Endgame, they were riding a wave. Now there's no wave for them. Like Fantastic Four comes out in July. Doomsday doesn't come out till December of 2027. So that's 2 years with no Marvel movies except for Spider-Man, which will be more of a Sony movie than a Marvel Universe movie.
They're not going to San Diego Comic-Con either.
Oh, they're not. So yeah, it's Marvel's probably sweating bricks right now, and so's Disney, because they're investing a lot of money and they're not in the best situation right now. So, Oh, thank you very much, Emily. Emily likes the artwork.
I'm that guy.
That's true. Irish internet,
the internet has created too many smart things. Like, we're just having a chat and it's like cool. But I've seen shows, I've heard people, people in the boardroom, this, that, they're talking as if they were sitting in the meetings and that they knew what all the plans were. And it's every fandom has that, Doctor Who, wrestling, whatever. It's like, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine who's actually in the film industry, and I'm like, "You're the only one that I listen to when you." And I go, "Oh, she's probably right, because she, makes movies." Because my neighbor next door doesn't make movies, but if he's sitting there talking to me like he was in the board meeting for Disney, I'm like, "Bro, you haven't left your house in 3 years. Like, stop it.
Stop it."
Like, what are you talking about? Like, everybody stop. Hold on a second. Breathe. It's just everybody breathe. But nobody wants to breathe. Nobody wants to breathe. So it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's an interesting time now. I think we're going to see kind of a flip where DC's rocking and Marvel's working on getting back to where they were before. But I think DC is going to be on a bit of a high. I got good faith in Superman. I like James Gunn, and
There is a theory. This is a fan theory, not a I was in the boardroom,
yeah,
blah 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 theory that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to share it. I don't know if you've seen the Crisis on Infinite Earths on Max, the animated.
I need to. It's on my watch list. I heard it was really good.
It's really good. To talk about this theory, I kind of have to ruin something though. I kind of have to spoil it.
I don't mind spoilers.
Okay.
Spoilers for Infinite Crisis of Infinite Earth animated for the chat, but I don't care about spoilers. Go ahead and hit me.
It's been out for a while too, so it's like
Yeah.
But anyway, so at the end, the way and it's the Spectre is involved, and the way they figured it out was that almost at Thanos, that Darkseid has to be a constant, a fixed point in time, very Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
So once they put everything back together, there was one prime DC universe. So all the heroes that were fragmented from different universes went into the new universe and became new versions of themselves, but they were the prime version. So it was Superman from Earth 2, but now he's Prime Superman. It was Batman from Earth 47, but now he's Prime Batman, and so on and so forth. Okay. So they're saying that's where James Gunn is jumping off from. This is the prime. This superheroes already exist, and this, that, the other thing. Guy Gardner, blah blah blah. So if Guy Gardner there, that means Hal Jordan's been someplace else, and all that stuff, right? Okay, cool. So what does that mean? So it is the prime DC universe. Okay, cool. But they're also saying that he's going to do a couple stories here and there, that might be not multiverse, but other, otherworldly, other university type thing. So they're like, well, how can you do that then? He goes, that's where they're going to bring in the new 52. So instead of it being, so we have the prime universe, and instead of an infinite amount of universes, there will be 52, a finite number of universes. 52. Prime and then 52. Where these other things are happening from time to time to go tell a story. But not being involved to destroy everything or to blah, 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 blah. Because that also gets a little bit wearing where he's like, every movie's about the multiverse. Calm down.
Yeah.
So, and I really like that. I actually enjoyed the hell out of that. So we'll see if that's what's happening. I don't know. But I'm excited for it.
I have heard in interviews he's talking about how there's going to be pocket universes that they're going to show in Superman. So that's probably playing somewhat into what you're talking about too, I would imagine.
Right, exactly. So
yeah,
let's see what happens. That's kind of interesting.
I'm excited for it because I think James Gunn's amazing. So I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's do this. I'm ready to watch.
First off, and this is where I get comic book nerdy, but I'm not going to be, too weird. The first one is I was a DC guy. I'm a Marvel. I'm a comic book guy, but I like DC stories a little bit more. I did, and it was Batman. It was Batman, but that was Fantastic Four is very important to me, and Jack Kirby as well. But with the DC stories, DC did multiverse correctly with the original Crisis on Infinite Earths books and did it really well. Some people, not comic book wise, but it seems like people have kind of forgotten that a little bit. Oh, Marvel multiverse, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you guys got to calm down. You guys got to relax a little bit. Like, let's slow it down, pump the brakes. Let's, which is why I actually like Thunderbolts and Captain America, because they were standalone. This is happening now. It's not we have to go back in time or blah, blah, blah. These are things that exist now. Boom. No Infinity Stones. Like, okay, cool. Great. So everybody pump the brakes a little bit. Now, I know Doomsday is going to be all multiverse and whatever, but whatever. Secret Wars probably. Okay, cool. But let's rewind again. Let's go back to James Gunn and the MCU. Now I was a fan, not the new version of the comic books that started happening after the movies. I was a fan of the books before the movies years ago, and I have a bunch of reader copies, like 50 issues of Guardians of the Galaxy back in the Cosmo, all that shit. So I particularly think that the Guardians of the Galaxy, now this is my opinion, I'm not saying it needs to be, like, if somebody wants to come at me, this may or may not be, it probably is the hill I'm willing to fight on. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are, if not the best, at least in the top 5. First one and third one for sure. Maybe not the second one so much, but the second one set up a lot of things for the third one, so whatever. But I think the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are the best MCU movies. Are the best, and because they're pretty true to the comic books, like at least the spirit of the comic books. B, they don't mind being like, these are not household characters. Okay, there's got to be some love for these characters from the comic book geeks like us, in order to like funnel that love to other people to love these guys, and people did. And that was all because of the actors in the story and James Gunn. So, and now I will say this. Obviously Endgame has to be in the top of somewhere. What was the Captain America movie?
Winter Soldier or Civil
Winter Soldier, yeah, both. Those are two phenomenal MCU movies as well. Just the action alone.
Yeah, I personally believe Winter Soldier is probably the all-around best Marvel movie in that time.
And I'm fine with that. That's a great. I mean, that's where I think we can have a fun conversation, not an angry conversation about why I think Guardians is, or the last Guardians movie, or whatever.
I love all 3 of the Guardians movie though. Like, some people hate on 2. I liked it. I love. Some people hate on 2, but I think all 3 of them were great. Because the third one gave us Mantis. The third one really gave us Nebula, which is important. And I had a fun, not just because of the comic books, but I had a funny feeling about Nebula because, I mean, you can't just toss Karen Gilliam out like that. You need to keep her because she's fucking amazing. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, but the Guardians movies are the guys that you meet, and you can find them. You can meet one of them at New York Comic Con. Danny, he's one of our executive assistants. We saw the first Guardian. We saw all of them actually together. The first Guardians movie, though, the end scene when Cosmo comes out, the first time we see Cosmo, I jumped out of my chair. I lost my shit because again, I read those original comic books. So he was there, and he can be like, "What the fuck?" And I had to explain to everybody. So yeah. What happened here? Nothing. Excellent. Click out of there. I'm just closing windows.
I'm finishing up this page, and then I'll probably see here. I could start another one, but I usually end around 10 anyways. Well, that's an hour and a half. It's not a bad stream.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. So let me do. So this page is pretty much done, except I have to fix the panels. Okay.
Oh, here I can show something. Because I also take commissions, kids. So I want to show you the 2 newest things.
Let me put you up on the main, and then you can show people here.
First one.
Hey, there you go.
This is from New York Comic Con last year. I'm finally getting it to the guy, but he told me we could take our time with it. We'll see if there's a glare or not. So we got there's no glare there. So can you seize it?
Oh, nice.
So that was pencil, watercolor, and ink. Get a fun little Goliath there. And then this one's done too. This was from a while back. But dude, again, told me, take your time. Let's get it done. So we did 2 sketch covers together, a Wolverine and Deadpool.
Oh, awesome.
With a lot of shit going on in there. Magikarp dressed up as Deadpool. Pikachu dressed up as Wolverine. It just I don't know how
fun.
That's what it is. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. So that's some of the stuff, some of the stupidity that I have going on. I really don't have anything else really right now. I know I do have a list.
I think Irish Punk liked that last one. He's all like, "Yo."
Which one? The gargoyle one or the other one? That these are the lists.
I love James Gunn during his trauma days. Emily's liking the artwork.
Toxic Avenger, baby. Actually, you know what?
Irish Punk has got his NYCC tickets this morning.
Did you get them? You didn't get the VIP, right? You just got the 4-day? Because if you got the VIPs, I didn't know you had it like that. Because damn, that was $800 for the VIPs. Good for anybody. People are like, "Oh, how could you?" Look, if somebody has it and that's what they want to spend it on, good for them. You know?
Heck yeah, you got it.
I can't hate it.
I mean, it's like a fun experience. It's worth it. You know.
Well, the big one is don't wait online, like for panels and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. I mean, I do that, but we pay a couple grand for our not having to wait on lines, but we have a table there, so it's a different stick, you know. I do have some stuff that I can show the peoples.
Okay, cool.
Let me just find them.
Yeah,
I mean, you did not get VIP. Okay, good for you. Because the 4-day total was only like $260 for 4 days at New York Comic Con. That's not bad. So we have some stuff. There's a Snorlax there, Violator, some ass.
Irish Punk got 3 days worth of tickets.
Oh my goodness! So, animated Batman, Angela, my boy Master Roshi.
Oh, he was Gargoyle was his yo comment. So he was
okay
for the Gargoyle.
That was a commission. Excuse me. Wow. That was intense. There's that. Then we end with the kid.
Oh, I like that one. It's a nice shot.
Yeah, no, it's kind of more fun that way almost. I did have, where did I put them? I lost them. I found them. I also have my sketch card. I got a lot of shit I got to work on. Shit. So first off, because I know Warren's probably wrapping up soon. So let's do this. I have the link in the chat, and I'll put it down there again. I do a little live stream, a little one, on Twitch every Monday night. Now, I've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but I will be back. And some of y'all are on my Twitch now because we're showing off Warren's goods today on our stream. But I will be on tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, since I know we got a lot of Warren's West Coast fans here. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. But I'm going to show you guys some sketch cards. This is probably what I'm going to be working on tomorrow. I got a TCG shows coming up, so I want to get ready for that. So let's see if I can show those off.
How many do you like to have ready for a show?
Sketch cards, it looks like 25 is a good number because I can because I have about 40 paintings, and that's kind of my thing. The sketch cards are great, and that gets me through the door at a TCG show. But the paintings are the rock stars.
Okay.
Especially, and then I have a bag, a shopping bag full of canvases that are going to be Pokemon heavy for these TCG shows, and they'll just go. So here we can stay. That might be a little hard to see. Maybe a little hard to see.
So Miles
there. Well, Bulbasaur,
Oh, Bulbasaur. Yeah, I don't know my Pokemon.
Sylveon, Eevee, Mimikyu, Mudkip, Gengar, and then now these cards I make the cards myself, so they're printed out with my stuff back there, so you can see. Now, when I originally the first batch of cards that I printed them out too small, or too big, so they came out in the index card size. But I didn't want to waste them, so boom, that one was fun. Little Chef Pikachu and the Dr. Doom that we have, since we've been talking about that. And then these we kept in the other cases. They're kind of as if I graded them myself, so they're in the PSA cases. So we'll take them down. Although I'm going to start doing, I think, just keeping them in these.
Oh, okay.
So there's a Omni-Man, Charizard, Luffy. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, nice.
Batman there.
So you're not liking doing the whole card in the case deal?
Is what?
You're not liking doing it that way with the case as much?
It's a lot of work to get them in the case, and then to seal the case and this, that, the other thing. It's a little bit. They look cool, and I still have more cases. So will I do a few? Yes, but I don't know exactly if I'm going to do like a ton of more or just a couple more. Like I'm right now. What I'm going to do is I have. Let's show you guys. I have about 12 cards that I cut yesterday. See, they're blank. They start with that. So I have 12 cards that I start with that I have cut. So tomorrow on stream, I'll start doing cards, and we'll see what comes of it. And like, I'm just gonna get the cards done, and then I'll decide. Are we gonna encapsulate them? Are we gonna, what we're gonna do? I'll decide from there, because I don't want to really think about it too much right now. I just want to do it. Just get it done. See what comes of it. Press on. If I want to, put them in a thing, okay, I'll do the extra work, of course. No big whoop. And we'll do it. We'll get it done. And it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. And it'll be fun. But if I decide to go with the regular things, plenty of guys are selling cards in the regular things. So it won't be, oh my God, you're so terrible, you screwed everything up. It won't be that serious. So we're hoping for the best. We'll put him back up there. That. So because if you need to find me, that's where you can find me, kids. Nice and easy. Fresh and squeezy.
Awesome.
I was like, and Warren left. Okay. I'll tell you, for the sketch cards, though, the Pokemon research has been intense.
Yeah.
But it's been fun too, and a learning experience.
I did a Pikachu Deadpool at Port Angeles, which ended up selling pretty good. But that's like the first Pokemon that I really been. Well, I did a commission where a person wanted marble characters with Pokemon around this coin, and I did that. And that I was just trying to find. I just randomly, I just put in Pokemon in the Google search and picked out like the 4 that I liked.
That's a perfect way to start, though.
Yeah,
that's a great way to start, because then you start. If you decide you want to do it again, okay, now you have kind of like a base from where you want to jump off from. Or if you decide, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore. Pikachu kiss my ass. Then, whatever, Pikachu kisses your ass. And then you press on. So it's whatever. I had a thing, and I don't know where anything is on this desk. Oh, you guys don't need to see my wallet. There they are. Excellent. So I collect One Piece cards, not just like Pokemon cards, but I like One Piece cards. I like One Piece. And the One Piece trading card game is actually doing really good. So there's a card that I have right here that you can see. It's a move. It's a power card, right? So the One Piece thing. Okay. So I had drawn it because I saw one and I wanted to do something cool. So I did it over Luffy's face.
Oh, that's cool.
So we go. So a buddy of mine who does 3D printing and stuff and does Pokemon cards and things like that too. They're worth probably like 10 cents each. Not even. They're not worth anything. But he got a bunch. He said, listen, can you draw some stuff on them? I'm like, yeah, I could do that. So he gave me a stack that I'm going to draw some stuff on. He's also going to be helping me out with he does 3D printing. So we're going to add, like, I got a gotcha machine. I don't know if you guys know what that are, but the little gachapon, the little Japanese gumball machine kind of things, right? So we're going to 3D print some Pokemon. So what I'm going to have in those at shows, I'm going to have some Pokeballs. I'm going to have some Pokemon, little 3D printed, little itty bitty 3D printed Pokemon, right? I'm going to have, then other ones are going to have Fat Guy ink or some stickers of my art and some pins of my art. And then a couple of the Pokeballs, of the balls that are going to be in there, are going to have winner free painting kind of stuff in them. So we're going to do all of that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so a different thing, right? A different thing to have. That's my link tree in the chat along with Warren's stuff, folks. So you can check that out. Where am I doing? What am I doing? And then if you don't mind, Warren, I'm going to put my Twitch in there.
Yeah, go ahead. Put whatever
those of you
like to, sir.
This is me on Twitch, kids. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern. Come check it out. Should be fun. We're going to do sketch cards. I'll probably mess with some of these. And it won't be too serious. And we'll have a good time. Obviously,
I will be there either on the stream or in the chat. I got my evenings free now, so I might be. If I get home close soon enough, I'll be able to hop on. So
very, very cool.
All right, let me. I gotta do some promotion right now, so I'm gonna put myself up. Boom. All right, guys. Just a reminder. Sig and Joe issue 1 and 2 is printed and ready for purchase. So if anyone wants to get their hands on issues 1 or 2, just hit me up in the DMs. I put my link tree in the chat. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on X. You can find me on Instagram. You DM me in any of those spots, and I can get you copies of Sig and Joe issue 1 and 2, as well as a copy of How the Squirrels Saved Longview. All 3 of these books are on Global Comics under my LunchBox Comics page. And if you are a member of Global Comics, you could be able to read issues 1 and 2. And if you could read How the Squirrel Saved Longview on there right now for free. It is a 17-page one-shot. So you can read that one for free. And then if you become a member, which is not very much per month for Global Comics has Image, they have IDW, Dark Horse, DC on there, as well as a plethora of indie comic book creators. I also put the links in the chat for the MSK's channel. I am on MSK's show on Wednesdays and on Fridays. MSK streams 7 days a week. So he puts out all kinds of content from sports, comics, and you can catch me on the panel show on Wednesday there, as well as me and him talking either a comic book review or talking about news and mainstream comic books and movies on Friday. I also put in there a link to Niobe Gaming's channel. You should subscribe to him. He's another one who does a lot of videos on video games, comic books, as well as also he's the writer and creator of Niobe, as well as Savage Sin. Check out Atrocity Press, and they put out Mary Machine Gun, Ninja Bimbos versus Zombies from Outer Space. I wanted to also hear real quick. I want to thank everyone who stopped by today. Irish Punk, thank you. Emily, Michael, Niobe, Max DeVille of Atrocity Press, Dingus Den, Michael. Thank you guys all. DK Bones, MSK. Thank you guys all for stopping by. I will be back next Sunday for episode 4, and during the week I will announce who the guest is going to be. And make sure you guys follow Pete 11717. Catch him tomorrow on his Twitch channel, as well as cons around the New York City area. And you can find us both through our link trees in the chat. And just keep on, follow along and see what we're doing. We're both creating, we're having fun, and we both love the medium of art. So everyone, Pete, do you have any closing out words you want to say? Or?
I'm shocked that nobody noticed a big ass Pikachu behind me. She's just sitting there, just chilling, just watching us. Thank you, Warren. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you so much. I'm absolutely. I say this all the time, and it embarrasses you, so I'm going to say it again. You inspired the shit out of me, just getting work done and making things happen. So it's great. I'm glad I brought you on the Attack on Cookie journey. I'm also glad it was kind of cathartic getting somebody else read the script besides me and Jay, because I don't know if you've read the whole thing, but now you kind of get an idea.
Yeah, it's a fun script too. I enjoyed it.
So, Pat, thanks a lot. Again, tomorrow, man, 10 o'clock, back to our usual bullshit. We will say this because I'll try to bring it. Trying to see if you can have the good luck that I've had with this. We expect the usual cast of characters in the chat, especially, hopefully, Russian porn bot.
Yeah.
I have a Russian bot that sells porn, but it's the most polite bot you've ever seen. And it's the only bot I allow on my. Well, I allow all the bots because I need the views. But Russian porn bot is allowed to stay as long as he wants. So, because he's giving the gift of porn to the people in war. So, yeah, I mean, that's just
important.
That's an ambassador. That's an ambassador right there, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, folks, thanks you so much. Check us out, Pete 11717. My next event is actually I'm on the waiting list for a trading card show next Sunday. And then I will definitely, my next big event is July 12th and 13th at EternalCon here on Long Island at Hofstra University. I will warn you, though, October 9th through the 12th is New York Comic Con at the Javits Convention Center. Jesus, I can't talk. Fucking marijuana. Irish Punk is going to be there. And Irish Punk will tell you, Warren's seen the pictures. We have a 10 by 20 by 10 end cap table. We basically have 40 feet of paintings, drawings, prints, all sorts of stuff. If you're interested in checking anything like that, hit that link. Talk to me, ask me questions. If you're going to the show and want to pick up a commission, we can do it. Or if you just want to know New York Comic Con, explain that to me. We can definitely get into that.
Yeah, that could be something in the future. Definitely working the Russian love porn bot into a comic book somewhere.
We'll figure something out. Well, we'll do a one-shot with Max and Atrocity Press.
That's right. All right, you guys have a great night, and I will see you on next Sunday. I hope you guys all have a great week, and take care of yourselves. And until next time, peace.
Mommy's always on.